Buonasera a tutti, direi che possiamo iniziare. Penso che siate tutti forniti di cuffiette, però segnalo nel caso qualcuno ancora non le avesse che comunque ci sarà la traduzione simultanea fra italiano e inglese, per cui ci sono disponibili le cuffiette in ingresso. Innanzitutto naturalmente un bentrovati a tutti voi, dopo una pausa estiva che spero sia stata per tutti occasione per trovare nuove energie e anche, perlomeno per Dialoghi Europei, occasione per raccogliere le forze e preparare un ricco calendario di eventi e di spunti di discussione per i prossimi mesi. Consentitemi innanzitutto di salutare e di ringraziare per l'onore che ci ha concesso accettando il nostro invito Edmond Ademi, Ministro senza portafoglio con delega ai rapporti con la diaspora nel Governo della Repubblica di Macedonia, ovvero, per essere più precisi, dato che questo sarà uno dei temi di oggi, perché è ancora in discussione, della former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia, perché uno dei temi che è ancora di attualità è anche la tematica del nome, diciamo, del paese. La Macedonia è una parte d'Europa e a volte, consentitemi di dire questo, l'opinione pubblica dell'Europa occidentale tende un po' a dimenticarsi che l'Europa è un concetto ben più vasto geograficamente, politicamente, culturalmente di quanto venga forse detto nel quotidiano, che ha conosciuto una storia del XX secolo molto complicata e piena di avvenimenti. Consentitemi un breve paragrafo, sono pur sempre uno storico, ricordando i disordini dell'inizio del XX secolo, con l'intervento delle grandi potenze, preoccupate forse più ad ostacolarsi a vicenda nell'estensione delle rispettive sfere di influenza nei territori del declinante impero ottomano, più che di garantire la sicurezza di chi vi abitava. 2 guerre balcaniche, dapprima dei nuovi stati nazionali contro la sublime porta e poi fra gli stati nazionali stessi, la Grande Guerra con il fronte di Salonicco, così periferico per alcuni anni e così decisivo negli ultimi mesi del conflitto, la nascita del Regno di Jugoslavia, un nuovo conflitto mondiale, l'esperienza socialista, nella quale, vorrei ricordarlo, l'allora Macedonia, facente parte della Jugoslavia, aveva su un lato un paese appartenente al patto di Varsavia, la Bulgaria, a sud la Grecia inclusa nella Nato e a ovest l'Albania con rapporti comunque molto complicati. Infine la dissoluzione della Jugoslavia, che se ha da un lato risparmiato, perlomeno in una prima fase, la più meridionale delle repubbliche della federazione, l'ha dall'altro inserita in un limbo di incertezza, di indefinita durata, incertezza nei rapporti interni, anche nella definizione dell'identità del paese e anche nelle sue relazioni internazionali. Oggi la Macedonia si trova di fronte a sfide interne ed esterne decisive, che ne determineranno a lungo il futuro. Vorrei ricordare innanzitutto il prossimo referendum sul nome. Come saprete, a seguito della dissoluzione della Jugoslavia, la vicina Grecia ha sempre ritenuto di porre il veto sul nome Macedonia, reputando questo nome una minaccia o comunque un pericolo per quei propri territori che hanno lo stesso nome e che si trovano a nord dell'importante porto di Salonicco. E consentitemi anche qua solo una parentesi, Salonicco, una città che per il ruolo che svolge nell'Europa sudorientale è un nome che forse troppo poco si sente fare a Trieste, per in tanti ragionamenti interessanti su similitudini, differenze e relazioni che su questo asse Trieste-Salonicco si potrebbero fare. Più di un quarto di secolo è passato dall'indipendenza della Repubblica e dopo tanti anni, oggi finalmente nel 2018, Skopje e Atene sembrano aver trovato una soluzione. I 2 governi hanno ricercato a lungo una soluzione, hanno trovato una soluzione, quella del nome di Repubblica della Macedonia del Nord, che dovrebbe porre termine a questa querelle. Una soluzione che ha suscitato il plauso della comunità internazionale, sicuramente di quella europea, ma che ha suscitato comunque anche un forte dibattito e anche forti contrasti in entrambi i paesi e che vedrà, e penso che questo sarà uno dei temi di cui maggiormente parleremo oggi, un importante referendum svolgersi proprio in Macedonia. Ma questa non è certo l'unica sfida, ve ne sono 2 strettamente collegate. Quella dell'integrazione europea della Macedonia è un tema che, per quel che riguarda il complesso dell'Europa sudorientale, Dialoghi Europei ha più volte affrontato in questi mesi, e quello anche naturalmente dei delicati rapporti fra le etnie e fra le comunità che compongono il Paese. Sono questi gli argomenti, poi forse altri ne emergeranno, di cui oggi parleremo con il Ministro Ademi, che, come dicevo, è oggi Ministro per la diaspora, quindi comunque una tematica molto importante nel governo della Macedonia, e ha alle spalle una lunga esperienza di collaborazione non solo con le autorità statali della Macedonia stessa, ma anche con organizzazioni internazionali. Vorrei ricordare l'Organizzazione per la sicurezza e la cooperazione in Europa e l'Agenzia per la ricostruzione dell'Unione Europea, e vorrei anche ricordare che è stato nel 2016 consigliere speciale del Ministro dell'Interno della Macedonia nel corso della crisi dei migranti. Quindi indubbiamente possiamo ritenere che questo incontro con lui potrà veramente consentirci di capire la situazione di quel Paese e soprattutto la prospettiva di quel Paese. Con il Ministro abbiamo concordato, dato che le tematiche principali di cui ci occupiamo sono quindi tre: il referendum, l'integrazione, i rapporti fra le etnie, di dividere questo incontro in tre suoi interventi di una decina di minuti ciascuno, quindi affronteremo ogni tematica separatamente, e poi naturalmente, come sempre, ci sarà anche spazio per gli interventi del pubblico. Non voglio quindi rubare ulteriore tempo e quindi cedo la parola al Ministro, chiedendogli cosa possiamo aspettarci da questo referendum, cosa possiamo aspettarci anche dopo il referendum, e quindi che notizie ritiene che avremo dalla Macedonia nelle prossime settimane e nei prossimi mesi.
Good evening, good afternoon to everyone. First of all, thank you to Mr. Chok for inviting me to this event and to discuss issues like he already mentioned, the three main topics which was related to my country, Republic of Macedonia, which is, yes, internationally recognized as a former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia, and that's what this referendum will change. This, I would say, nonsense acronym. Before I come to a referendum as a action that's going to happen on September 30th, I would like to give you a bit of feedback for the process of negotiating with Greece, especially in the last 12 months, after the new government was elected by the parliament in 31st of May 2017, and basically the intense negotiation between Macedonia and Greece started somewhere in November, because in October we had elections. So basically in 7 months we managed somehow to close the issue with Greece, a problem that was lasting for ages, like 27, almost 3 decades. And basically the country was blocked completely in its path to EU and NATO. I would like to remind the audience that Macedonia is the first country from the Western Balkan countries who signed a stabilization association agreement with the European Union, which it was in 2001. Macedonia was the first country in the Western Balkan countries who became a candidate country for membership in the EU in 2005. And then we stuck. We stuck because it came to a change of the government in 2006. The nationalist party who came in power, although they were pro-NATO and pro-EU and pro-integration, and that's the strategic determination of the country since 1993. But with starting building Skopje 2014, which is an ideological project of the nationalist Venerdì party, basically they ruined the international position of Republic of Macedonia, both towards international community in general, but very much with Greece as well. Greece felt threatened that someone wants to take their history and culture and whatever. And although we have to say that Macedonia and Greece in 1995, under the UN auspices, signed this interim agreement for basically recognizing us and allowing us to get into the international organization under this name that we still, in those international community, we use former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia. This name, in its sense, in its essence, it's nonsense, because we are having a name for international use which consists the name of the state that doesn't exist anymore, Yugoslavia. So during the process of negotiation there was ups and downs, and very much it depended on say, political landscape in the both countries. I can say that while the left-wing parties were in power in Greece and here, there was always a bit of progress. And when we had the change of the government, then when the right-wing party would come, then we had stealth there, because they used, or to be more precise, misused the name issue, both the Greeks in Greece and the nationalist party in Macedonia. I remember there was pretty good chances to be the name solved somewhere in 2011, when in Greece was Prime Minister Yorgos Papandreou, the leader of the PASOK, but then we had here the nationalists, so they couldn't find any common ground, although at that time I think PASOK and Mr. Papandreou was very much keen to move forward with finding a mutual accepted solution. And then like when we came to a stage like things would move, then the former Prime Minister Gruevski in our government, he called for snap elections. And in the meantime, in Greece happened elections and Papandreou lost, so the Nea Demokratia came in power, the new democracy, which is right-wing. And then we had two right-wings leaders on the both sides of the border. And basically they used or misused the name issue very much in terms of increasing their support within their nations. And then in 2016, elections, December 11, the Social Democrats, the government which I belong, and the party, won the elections and managed to form a government in June 2017, 31st of May. It lasted for a while because it was like neck or neck with the results. And apart from that, we had a situation when on the 27th of April, the parliament was attacked by the supporters of the right-wing party who didn't want to give up of the power, and there were attacks on the MPs and the Prime Minister, but that's another story. On June 1st, as I said, the government has been formed. The new government decided to change the story or the face, public face of Macedonia in terms of international relations. And we had intensive international activity both by Prime Minister itself, Foreign Minister, myself, and basically the entire government. We changed, how to say, the perception about Macedonia in terms of the international community for 180 degrees. From a country who was for years isolated in terms of no one was coming and no one was going anywhere. We had a situation where suddenly we become the stars of the Europe because of this proactive diplomacy and proactive policies, and because of the creating good neighborhood relations, which is one of the pillars of this government program, creating good neighborhood relations with everyone. In August, we had, basically, which was not very much so much extended, but we had problems also with Bulgaria, with whom we signed an agreement for mutual understanding and cooperation between the two states. And of course, the problem with the Greece was the biggest one, and with the challenges. It was not an easy task. It was not easy to negotiate. But we believe, as a government, that we have an agreement which is a win-win situation. Greeks got erga omnes for the name. Macedonians got erga omnes for the identity, which means that the Macedonian language, the Macedonian nation, the Macedonian culture has been finally confirmed and recognized, which was a very important part of the this negotiation, especially for us in Macedonia. This agreement, so how to say, and I believe it will see the light of the day even more, because on both sides we were lucky to have in one side Macedonian Prime Minister Zaev, and on the other side Greek Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras, who were really understanding the importance of finding a solution that will be mutually acceptable on one side, and the other side giving a chance to the region to move forward. Macedonia, as I said, in 2005 was the first Balkan country who got a candidate status. For example, in 2005, Montenegro was not even an independent state. They were part of both Serbia and Montenegro. Montenegro today, it's member of NATO, negotiating with the EU for long now, and they are progressing very much. And we were basically stuck because of the name issue. The idea was that there was no other way around to achieve the strategic goals of the country established in 1993. Solution with Greece was the only one. And I think we did the best. And I think we achieved the maximum we could achieve under these circumstances. Does in the past probably might have better chance and better solution? Maybe, we don't know. Because today the opposition says, which is strange, that's another story. The opposition in Macedonia says this is an agreement which kept, it's bad agreement for Macedonians, although they were 11 years in power. 11 years in power, and they didn't achieve any agreement. In fact, they achieved one agreement, agreeing with the Greek government to not have an agreement at that time. So, basically they say we could do a better agreement. The question is why they didn't do a better agreement for 11 years. On the other hand, you have a Greek opposition who's not satisfied with the agreement because they think that Mr. Tsipras, Prime Minister Tsipras, has given everything to Macedonians, the Macedonian language, the Macedonian identity, the Macedonian culture, and everything. When you see both opposition being not happy with the agreement for their own reasons, of course, political reasons, we can easily conclude that this agreement is a good one. And now we are in the phase of organizing a referendum on September 30th. And again, it was the previous government and the opposition, current opposition, who was pushing for years and years about having a referendum on the name issue. Because all the previous Prime Minister would say any solution between us and Greece on the name has to go to a referendum where the citizens of Macedonia will decide if that is acceptable or not. We, at that time, as an opposition party, accepted this position, saying fine. Today, when the referendum has been scheduled, the campaign already has started. The party who was pushing for referendum has no position what they're going to do on the referendum. Are they going to vote yes? Are they going to vote no? So, basically shows, again, another argument, plus, that this agreement, it's really the best possible solution at this moment. We believe, as a government, that this referendum will succeed because the atmosphere and the public polls, opinion polls in Macedonia, 3 of them in a row now for 3 weeks, from different agencies, shows a majority of supportive of the referendum. Why? Because there is no other alternative. There is no alternative joining EU and NATO for Macedonia. At least no one has given any alternative till now. And even those who object the agreement or those who threaten to boycott the referendum, there is no alternative for us. They didn't even offer any other. So we believe that this referendum will succeed, with which we're going to open finally the path towards EU and NATO. As you know, in June, the European Council gave a date for starting date for negotiating with Macedonia on EU membership next June 2019. On 11th of July, the NATO Secretary General extended the invitation to our Prime Minister to join NATO. And if everything goes right, when referendum is passed, then the Parliament in our country has to adopt the changes to the Constitution. Then after that, the Greek Parliament, somewhere in January, has to adopt both the agreement on the name issue and at the same time the protocol for joining Macedonia to NATO, which will make Greece the first country from NATO member who will adopt the protocol for Macedonia to become part of NATO. And then the countries, each and every one, members of NATO, will need to adopt this protocol for joining Macedonia to NATO in their own parliaments, and we expect that earliest this thing to be ended somewhere autumn 2019, September, October. If not, then not later than January 2020, when and formally will become NATO member. As far as the European Union goes, it's a longer process with negotiating, but we are very much ready in many aspects in terms of reforming the laws and legislation and making compatible with the EU legislation and EU acquis. Of course, there is a lot of things to be done, especially on the reform in the judiciary, reform in the public administration, and reform in courts. But that's the process that will last during the whole process of negotiation with EU. Summa summarum, I think that this agreement is successful, and that would not be let's say, possible if we didn't have a full support of our the international community, our friends, governments from everywhere in Europe, including Italian one. So that was a really nice, it was a process supported by all sides.
Grazie innanzitutto al Ministro perché penso ci abbia illustrato benissimo non solo la situazione odierna in Macedonia, ma anche come ci siamo arrivati in questi anni. E ha concluso proprio con un tema che penso anche particolarmente sentito, penso dal nostro pubblico, e l'abbiamo affrontato più volte in questi mesi, che appunto il destino dell'integrazione europea della Macedonia e di tutta l'area dell'Europa sud-orientale. Una riflessione che ho già fatto in una delle nostre precedenti iniziative è che in un momento in cui spesso l'opinione pubblica dei Paesi membri dell'Unione Europea è molto critica verso l'Unione Europea, adesso non voglio aprire parentesi su cose che non sono attinenti all'incontro di oggi, però forse a volte essere consapevoli che ci sono Paesi a noi vicini che guardano all'Unione Europea come un riferimento, come una speranza, come la cornice in cui poter realizzare il proprio futuro, potrebbe essere fornire qualche riflessione utile anche a noi, così come potrebbe essere utile tener presente quanto anche il ruolo dell'Unione Europea possa aiutare a stabilizzare situazioni anche di difficoltà. E quindi diciamo al Ministro chiederei ancora un commento sul percorso di integrazione della Macedonia e forse soprattutto sul sentimento che c'è nell'opinione pubblica macedone verso l'Unione Europea, perché penso che questo sia rilevante. Nel 2018 ricordarsi che ci sono paesi in cui l'opinione pubblica guarda all'Unione Europea con una parola che a volte dimentichiamo, che si chiama speranza.
As I said previously, the strategic position of all governments from 1991 till today in Macedonia has been membership to EU and NATO. When it comes to the EU, for many years, from 1993, 1992 till today, the opinion polls and the support for full membership to EU in my country is over 80%. The last one was about 88 when it was published like a few days ago. For NATO it goes around 71, 72. We see EU as a family, as a place where basically, although we are a small country with no more than 2 million inhabitants there, we believe that EU, it's a place because, first of all, territorially, the Western Balkans belongs to Europe, European continent. Culturally, we belong to European continent and European identity. Historically, we always have had relations with European countries on different levels, including with people from Macedonia living in now EU countries, which we call it, or we all call it, diaspora. EU, of course, it's a process that takes time, but at the same time, it helps the country to achieve the standards that other EU countries has or they achieved while before joining and after them. I was 2 days ago 3 days ago, in fact, in Slovenia, where I met, apart from the President Pahor and Speaker of the Parliament, Židan, I met our diaspora there, and one of them asked me, said, well, when we become members of EU, all citizens of Macedonia will leave the country, and everybody will go to Europe. Who's going to live there? We are 2 million. Huh? It could be a street in, I don't know where, in New York. Or and I told them that the sample with Poland. Poland, before joining EU, many Polish people left, went to Germany to work, and UK. After Poland became member of EU, about 75% of them came back home. Why? Because being part of EU created in Poland almost equally standards and quality of life as in Germany. Why he would be many miles and kilometers away from his family when he can live with the same thing, with the same salary or a bit similar standards and quality of life in Poland? And that's what going to happen with Macedonia. Yes, we do have a large number of people who will leave now, but I believe that creating equally same standards of quality of life, new jobs, salaries, environment, agriculture, culture, education, that will bring those people back home. In the same time, bringing with them the experience and the know-how that they earned, I don't know, in Italy, in Germany, in France, or wherever. So, at the end of the day, the mobility today, it's 21st century, everybody moves everywhere, looking for opportunities. And being part of EU, where very much is supported as a mobility, both by EU projects and EU programs, shows that EU helps those countries to create situations. And I usually, because we have this referendum now on the 30th, I'm using the case of UK with the Brexit. Brexit, for me, that's my personal opinion, not to my government. It's a classic case of big mistakes. And a big mistake that done by 1% of the people in terms of those who voted yes out of EU against those who voted no, or in fact staying in EU. Motivating people, saying that there is no other chance. The same is with our referendum. You know, it's like you have a student. You can go to pass an exam on September session, or you can decide not to do it in September. You can do it in October or December. Well, in this case, there is one session, September 30th. And now when you see UK, of 60% of people in UK wants a new referendum so they can stay in EU, they realize the mistake they did. And they are very much aware, but there is no way back, but at least not now. Maybe in 10 years, 20, maybe they're going to have another referendum. I don't know. But now they have to move, to walk the path. So, in this context, if we believe that being part of EU is not just of, you know, it's not just getting money from EU for the project, but it's creating conditions for, for the quality of life standards, which will bring, with the work of the people, with creating such as life chances for people, especially for youth, will make this country a better place to live. Thank you.
Grazie, io aggiungerei che sarebbe il caso forse di far conoscere un po' questi ragionamenti anche ai cittadini dei Paesi membri dell'Unione Europea, perché penso che sarebbe veramente utile anche ad alcuni dibattiti nostri come intendo cittadini dell'Unione Europea. Lei ha citato prima il suo settore di competenza, cioè i rapporti, diciamo, con le comunità macedoni che vivono all'estero, e ne approfitto quindi per farle un'ultima domanda che in realtà è in due parti, nel senso che vorrei da un lato chiederle, diciamo, come sono in questo momento anche i rapporti fra le diverse comunità che compongono la Macedonia, che è appunto un paese plurale, il che mi permetto di dire è in realtà la regola anche in Europa. A volte ce ne dimentichiamo che in realtà le società non sono così monolitiche come spesso ci immaginiamo, e quindi un commento sui rapporti fra le diverse comunità che compongono il paese, e forse anche un commento. Lei ha già citato questo suo scambio di idee, diciamo, con la comunità macedone in Slovenia, sul modo in cui le comunità macedoni all'estero seguono il dibattito che si sta svolgendo nel paese, quanto riescono a dare un contributo, diciamo, a questa riflessione che la Macedonia sta facendo sul suo futuro, e quindi insomma quanto anche il loro ruolo peserà sulla decisione del 30 settembre.
People who live in diaspora, the Macedonian citizens who live abroad and working abroad as a diaspora, and I'm telling them that they are one of the rare categories of people who knows what means to live in a country which is member of EU and member of NATO. The Macedonians who live in Italy, they know what's the quality of life in a country which is member of EU and NATO. And they are the, how to say, the sample where they can transmit what EU means. Because for us, okay, we know the EU, we know the funds, we know that it means better. We know there are problems in EU and difficulties as well. But those Macedonian citizens who live in these countries like Italy, Germany, France, they can feel it on their own, what means the quality of life here, what means opening new jobs, creating conditions for whatever, better life, more better education, and everything. So those people do play and can play an important role in presenting EU in the best possible way at home, when they are back at home for, I don't know, for holidays, for a visit, or for whatever. They do understand that it's important we become part of that. Last night, for example, I went like 4 times. I was in Koper on the other side, meeting the mayor, and then after the meeting with the mayor, I came on this side so I can accommodate myself in a hotel. And then I went back to Koper in the evening to meet Macedonian diaspora living in Koper, and then after that I came back here. After the 3rd time, I didn't realize where I am. Koper, this side, that's, or because it was like, you know, you pass through, you don't see the borders, you don't see, you know, it's not something that we are very much used to see, and that's EU. You don't see the difference between exit in Koper and entrance in Trieste, and vice versa, because it's the same. Because EU invested on the both sides, so the both sides of the people of the both sides can fill EU. As far as the interethnic relations in Macedonia, it's about. Yes, Macedonia is multi-ethnic, multi-confessional, and multicultural state and society. There are two main ethnic groups there. The Macedonian ethnic group, Macedonians, who are about 65%, according to the last census we had, Albanians with 25%, and we have Serbs, Turks, Vlachs, Romas, Bosniaks, and all basically it's very, very multicultural, very multiculti society. Macedonia, fortunately, when there were the Balkan Wars and the wars in the ex-Yugoslavia, our independence basically we reached without a conflict, without a war, which was not the case with Slovenia, Croatia, and especially Bosnia, and of course Kosovo as well. But then we had in 2001 an inter-ethnic 6-month inter-ethnic conflict between ethnic Albanians or organization called ONA, Albanian National Army, and the Macedonian forces, which ended up with the Ohrid Framework Agreement signed on August 13, 2001. At that time, both sides were also unhappy with that agreement. Both Macedonians, because they said, oh, we gave everything to Albanians, and Albanians, oh, we didn't get everything we wanted, or something like that. But that agreement became a core document for inter-ethnic stability, like now, 17 years later. Today, we have a coalition government, which is, of course, in the past has been as well, ethnically coalition government between the main Macedonian party and the main Albanian party, ethnic Albanian party, who won elections. But for the first time in these 27 years, Macedonia has a coalition government which is also inter-ethnically mixed, but with one big difference. The main party, the ruling party, Social Democrats, it's a multi-ethnic party. I'm an ethnic Albanian who was a member of this party, and I'm the first Albanian minister who comes from Social Democrats in his history of 27 years of independence. We have Turks, we have Serbs, we have 3 MPs, Albanian MPs who belong to our parliamentary group. We have 2 Turks, we have 1 Serb, and no one now can say, as they used to say, we represent Macedonians, you represent Albanians, so take care of your own people and we'll take care of our own people. We established a government which is taking care of everyone, no matter of ethnic or religious background. And our slogan and the position as a government is building one society for all, which means everyone equal, with opportunities, but with obligation as well. Thank you.
Grazie al Ministro anche per questa terza risposta. Abbiamo ancora una ventina di minuti che ci consentono al pubblico di fare eventuali commenti o quesiti. Vorrei quindi chiedere forse il microfono, se possibile. Ovviamente, come al solito, il pubblico sa che sono molto stringente sui tempi, quindi chiedo commenti brevi e puntuali.
Sì, vorrei sapere quali erano le altre alternative a quella di Repubblica Macedonia del Nord, o era l'unica possibilità? E poi per quanto riguarda la Costituzione della Macedonia vorrei sapere se ci sono stati degli emendamenti a favore della tutela delle minoranze. Grazie.
Magari raccogliamo un paio di domande.
Grazie. ci siamo conosciuti stamattina in Consiglio regionale. Appunto le faccio una domanda che riguarda il mondo delle autorità locali. Vorrei chiederle se intravede una possibilità di intervento, come vede il ruolo delle autorità locali in questo processo di integrazione, se è possibile che le autorità locali giochino un ruolo nell'ambito di questo processo di integrazione europeo, e se ritiene utili i suggerimenti che la nostra Assemblea legislativa ha dato al Comitato delle Regioni Europee, che è quella di utilizzare programmi tipo i twinning, per esempio, per scambiare delle esperienze tra comunità locali. Attualmente vengono gestiti a livello nazionale, quindi sono piuttosto complicati, complessi, se invece si possono creare dei legami fra autorità locali direttamente, che è la cosa che stiamo cercando di proporre alla Commissione europea, in modo che per esempio i comuni possano anche trarre beneficio dall'esperienza delle nostre amministrazioni locali. Se lei vede che questa può essere una strada, o se per qualche ragione o magari può essere prematura. Ecco, volevo chiedere questa sua opinione. Grazie.
Grazie. Sono Giuliano Blasetti. L'ingresso nella comunità, nell'Unione Europea prevede di ottemperare a una serie di requisiti, una specie di pagella. Quali sono i problemi più importanti che immaginate di dover superare o che avete già superato per corrispondere a queste esigenze? Grazie.
Giuseppe Meineri. Niente, io ho una curiosità per conoscere un po' meglio quello che è il paese Macedonia, cioè quali sono le etnie, già è stato detto, no? Ma vorrei sapere anche quali sono le religioni che vengono praticate dai macedoni, e quali sono le lingue che parlano, se parlano tutti la stessa lingua o se parlano lingue differenti. Ecco, questa è un po' una curiosità più che altro geografica. Grazie.
Ok, allora facciamo un primo giro di risposte.
Thank you for the questions. The gentleman asked about the first one, about Northern Macedonia. If I understood it well, he's asking, was that the only solution, name proposal, or there was other as well? There were, during the debate, there were also other proposals, but there were three main that we tried to find, we tried to find a solution. It was North Macedonia, it was Upper Macedonia, and it was Vardar Macedonia, because of the river Vardar, which passes through the Macedonia. It ends, and basically it ends in Greece. But in Greece they don't call it Vardar, they call it differently. Axios, yeah. And the reason why North Macedonia is because the territory of Macedonia, it's a huge one. 51% of that territory belongs, or territorially, geographically, in Greece. 33% in my country, Republic of Macedonia, and some small percent in Bulgaria. And yes, we are north, in the north. Although, although there were a lot of comments over the name about North Macedonia, because it's going to be like North Macedonia in the southeast Europe, belonging to Western Balkans. And we believe that this is not a name change. This is only geographically defining the territory where we live. And in Macedonia, when it comes to the minorities, I believe you're thinking about the agreement, and does that has to do with minorities on the both sides. According to the Constitution of Republic of Macedonia, the Macedonian government, the Macedonian state, is obliged to take care and protect all their citizens who live abroad and who live across the borders or other countries. And in this case, it's even going to strengthen the protection of minorities by taking into consideration or full implementation of the human rights and minority rights resolution of the Council of Europe, which all countries members to the Council of Europe should respect the resolutions which are above the, let's say, national law. As far as the local authorities, I believe, yes, we have a lot of twinning projects, right? But that goes on the state level and between ministries, but very much involves municipalities who are beneficiary from those projects. Some of them. We have many cross-border cooperation projects, which involves sometimes between the two states in neighborhood, sometimes with three. But of course, nevertheless, I think that the cross-border and this cross-border cooperation and those twinnings, even if it's on the local level between cities and towns, it could be a good building a good relation, first of all, between the countries and helping, let's say, I don't know, helping European Union cities, going to help our communities, our cities, in terms of projects. The question is now, of course, some of the cities are more ready in terms of human capacity, human resources, and people to implement projects. Some of them are not very much ready, so maybe it will take a bit more time to work with them or to have such projects. But yes, we do I know that our minister, because we have also a minister for local self-government, and he participates in those committee of regions in Brussels, where they discuss projects, discuss cooperation, and I believe that an initiative coming from here to Brussels, trying at least to develop some 2-3 pilot projects between working on those twinnings with cities in Macedonia, I think will show basically in one hand if it works for the EU, and on the other hand if we're going to have enough capacity or we're going to have to involve the state in this case. So at the end of the day we have a successful project. But I can say that there is always good to have new initiatives and new projects on local level, because we do have very much decentralized the government in terms of we don't have regions, but we have municipalities where they do have their authorities on certain topics and certain issues. Not like here, for example, you have bigger, let's say, authorities on many fields like agriculture. We were talking this morning with the president, or the infrastructure. That it's not the case with the municipalities. They do have, we do have an infrastructure in the municipalities, but they are very local road, not like big projects. And in agriculture, everything is covered by the government, because we still don't have. Yes. Yeah. We basically had the situation with the waste management. We gave those authorities to the municipalities, in fact, to 8 regions, to have those waste management system, but it appeared that at the end of the day, it appeared that they have no capacity to manage. So now we're changing the law, so we bring it back to the government, so we can really more invest in this, so we can create new, more environmentally, more friendly environment, and as well as investments in this part. So that was given to them like 6-7 years ago, but it appeared that maybe even longer. Appear that they have no enough capacity to manage, and there are many projects in EU who really support those, and if you don't use those funds, then they are failed. And for example, IPA funds and everything that comes, they go back to Brussels. So that's why we thought that it's better that the government takes over now this process, just until the municipalities are ready to go with. What was main challenges? Yes, well, as I said at the beginning, the joining EU is going to be a long process. It's not going to be an easy one. What is important for our country, it's the judiciary reform. We need full judiciary reform. We need reform of public administration, making it more efficient and more practical. And we get the fight against corruption and crime, which is very important both for the EU and both for us as a government. We do work very closely with a German expert proposed by EU, Mr. Reinhard Priebe, who did a report, full report on judiciary reforms, as well as on the fight against corruption and crime, and it's institutions who need to be implemented. There is a lot of work to do there, because for 11 years in the previous government we had a situation where both institutions, the courts and the prosecution, were under control of the government. So when this scandal of wiretyping appeared in 2015, we had a chance to listen how the head of secret police or head of Minister of Interior calls the public prosecutor and tells him what to do, or how to prosecute that guy, or how to close that guy, in which case how to deal with, which is nonsense in a country that thinks and believes that belongs to the EU. And we did some step forwards there, which is very important. We reform of the Secret Service. We changed the law. We established a completely new agency. It's called Operational Technical Agency, which will be in charge for following even because the wiretypings, because previously it was under the state secret police, and they could do whatever they want, as they did, without judge decision to follow someone because of many reasons. Now this is completely out of that sector. It's independent. Its director is not elected by the government, but it's elected by the parliament, and not only by the majority, but with the 2/3 of majority, which involves opposition as well. So if you want to be director there, or when the director is basically elected with the consensus, which means the government has the ruling party can't change or can elect a new director without support of the opposition, because that is what is important. In the reform of judiciary, we started this working with, formed a strategic group, which is led personally by the Prime Minister. He's very much interested in changing the situation there. And yes, it's a process that will take a while, but those are basically, I would say, the main challenges for us in the period to come. Because anyway, when we start, even when we open the negotiation in June next year, they're going to start with the chapter 23 and 24th, which comes to the issue of reforms in public administration, crime and corruption, and reform in judiciary and secret services, or interior ministry. And yeah, the fifth one, about the confession, the languages, the geography. Macedonia is a very beautiful country, and we don't have a sea, but we have lakes, 3 of them, a lot of mountains, and as far as the confession, yes, they are different. You have Orthodox are the biggest one. It's the biggest confession. Then we have the Muslims, we have Catholics, we have Protestants, we have many other smaller confession groups. About the languages, no, Macedonians speak in Macedonian language, Albanians speak in Albanian language, Bosnians speak in Bosnian language, Serbs in Serbian language. They all have the right to use their own mother language, but we all do understand each other in Macedonian language because we do all speak the official language of the country. I think that was it, yeah, right?
E abbiamo veramente tempo per un paio, però veramente di cose velocissime, perché quindi vi chiederò veramente spunti sintetici. Allora, c'era penso Ugo e poi andiamo, quindi ancora 3 quesiti.
Grazie. A Trieste ha sede la prima organizzazione internazionale che ha accolto la Repubblica di Macedonia come membro con il suo proprio nome dal 1993 ed è l'iniziativa centroeuropea, cosa della quale pochi nella nostra realtà sono consapevoli, ma che ha qualche ruolo rilevante sul piano internazionale anche per valorizzare la realtà di Trieste e del Friuli Venezia Giulia. A questo riguardo, non so se stamattina sia emerso in Consiglio regionale, ma è bene ricordare che la Regione Friuli Venezia Giulia, ovvero il Presidente della Giunta dell'epoca Renzo Tondo, firmò un accordo di cooperazione con il Governo della Macedonia alla fine del 2008, quindi all'inizio del suo mandato, accordo di cooperazione che purtroppo non fu poi concretamente implementato, ma che costituisce un quadro di riferimento anche per l'iniziativa del Consiglio. La collaborazione a livello di enti locali è sicuramente un terreno molto importante, ma qui voglio fare 2 domande al Ministro. Negli anni trascorsi, prima del cambio al vertice del Paese, io ho avuto la sensazione che la difficile situazione dell'esercizio dei diritti democratici abbia spinto un grande sviluppo delle organizzazioni della società civile, delle organizzazioni non governative in generale, quindi creando dei meccanismi di mobilitazione civile molto fecondi. Credo che alcuni ministri dell'attuale governo siano diretta espressione di dei movimenti della società civile a partire dal Ministro degli Esteri. E quindi la prima domanda è: quanto e come il nuovo governo riesce a mantenere viva una dialettica positiva con questa dinamica della società civile? Dall'altra parte, il problema a cui ha ora accennato il Ministro Ademi del sano funzionamento, diciamo così, degli apparati dello Stato è un problema che era diventato molto pesante per il mancato rispetto delle regole minime di terzietà nel reclutamento e nella promozione dei dirigenti e degli impiegati della pubblica amministrazione. Cioè il sistema clientelare di nomina e di gestione degli apparati pubblici ha costituito un grande problema per il nuovo governo, credo di sapere. A che punto siamo nel ristabilimento delle regole di uno Stato di diritto ben funzionante?
Mi raccomando veramente la brevità per gli ultimi due.
Brevissima.
Siamo già ai supplementari.
Sì. Volevo sapere qual è l'atteggiamento della Bulgaria o del governo bulgaro, meglio, rispetto a questo processo che sta avvenendo in Macedonia e questo possibile accordo sul nome, possibile entrata, insomma, processo che lei ci ha spiegato. Qual è l'atteggiamento del governo bulgaro?
Io non ho domande da fare, ma solo un augurio che l'appuntamento del 30 settembre si concluda felicemente, perché sarebbe un passaggio importante per il processo ulteriore di integrazione della Macedonia nell'Unione Europea. Non ho potuto fare a meno di sorridere quando lei, signor Ministro, ha parlato della sua sorpresa di passare da una parte all'altra di due paesi, Italia e Slovenia, senza accorgersi di averlo fatto. E la capisco perfettamente, perché a me è capitato 15 giorni fa di dover passare dalla Grecia alla Macedonia e dalla Macedonia in Serbia e dover stare un'ora in fila in Grecia per uscire, un'ora in Macedonia per entrare e successivamente un'ora per uscire dalla Macedonia, un'ora per entrare in Serbia. Vorrei che queste cose le avessimo presenti noi, che dell'Unione Europea facciamo parte. Forse ci dimentichiamo di questi vantaggi che abbiamo avuto dal processo di integrazione. Io le auguro veramente, auguro a lei e al suo Paese di andare avanti rapidamente in questo processo di integrazione, perché ritengo, per l'esperienza che ho avuto, per le conoscenze che ho avuto modo di fare con esponenti del suo Paese, che darete un contributo intelligente anche all'equilibrio di tutta l'area balcanica. Lei ha fatto riferimento alla circostanza che nel corso delle guerre balcaniche voi siete rimasti abbastanza defilati, e questo va a merito della vostra classe dirigente, perché in realtà eravate un paese sotto pressione da tutti i lati, dalla Grecia da una parte, che mandava gli aiuti attraverso il vostro paese a Milosevic, da Milosevic che pretendeva di fare le basi anche nel vostro paese, e dalla Bulgaria che non disdegnava qualche pressione. In più bisognava aggiungere che la sua componente nazionale, quella di lingua albanese, aveva all'epoca un atteggiamento abbastanza complicato, per esempio quello di rifiutare di partecipare alle elezioni democratiche. Essere riusciti a gestire quella fase indenni, io credo che sia prova di una grande abilità di quel gruppo dirigente e aver salvaguardato l'identità e l'integrità del Paese, e quindi non mi resta che sinceramente augurarvi di entrare quanto prima per dare un contributo di stabilità a tutta quella parte dell'area balcanica. Grazie.
Can I start the opposite one from the last question? Okay. Since there was no question from the gentleman in the end, there was no question, but only a comment. I want just to say grazie for the support and for the good wishes. As far as the question on the civil society, yes, civil society had important role in the period 2014-2017 and 16 for the elections in December. And it's not only foreign minister part of that, they're representing just who came from the civil society. There are many others who are maybe not ministers, but they are in different positions in the government, who play an important role with the civil society, and they do and make this government more open and more transparent toward civil society, even today. We have, I would say, relations with the civil society in terms of trying, whenever they have criticizing this government for whatever policies are, we debate with them. We organize joint debates in the government and the public, trying to hear their voice. Of course, not always we do agree with them, but that's what we created, the culture of debate, which was not it was inexistent in the period of the past. Recently, I saw, before I came here to Italy, I saw that there was an agenda adopting a national strategy for cooperation with civil society and NGOs, which will be brought by the government, but has been made by the representative of civil society, along with the government together. It's not the government document, but very much 90% of them were from the civil society involved in the document, which will create the path toward next future cooperation. And we do believe that a strong civil society, it's very important in the democratic society, and they did played a very important role in following the regime of previous Prime Minister. As far as the public administration, I fully agree, we are still facing very much difficulties within the administration in terms of reforming that. It was difficult because the laws were made in such way that you couldn't even change someone or remove someone from that position who was from the previous. We are not saying that we should move everyone like it was like the previous one, but there are positions in the government that when the new government comes, needs to change to put people who really they're gonna do their work. And because of this, we were facing a harsh criticism by our own supporters, even from the civil society itself. Why we don't change this guy? Because we know that he didn't do the good job, but we couldn't because the law was protecting him. Now finally we managed to change the law in the parliament, but that will create a situation where those who are more, those who are professional, who are in administration, professionals in administration, to go up in the administrative hierarchy, so their experience, their knowledge, they can come on to put in place, because there was no other way around to change things. I know that our Minister for Administration and it working closely with the European Commission in reform of the public administration, in basically writing a new law on public administration that will help the professionals to come front instead of those who were like put there, and there was some of them. I think they're still there and making complication and stopping some of the processes that we thought it's going to go a bit faster. Was it that? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I think it is. Yes, Bulgaria. Sorry. Yeah, Bulgaria. Our Prime Minister and the Bulgarian Prime Minister are very good friends for a long time, and I think that Bulgaria played a very important role in this year and a half in supporting Macedonia's path to EU. I know that Prime Minister Boyko Borisov helped in certain occasions between the two Prime Ministers, Zaev and Tsipras, when those name negotiations, and he was very supportive while the Bulgarian presidency with the EU we just ended on the 30th of June. So Bulgaria and Macedonia, I think they closed an important issue that they had with this agreement signed last year on August the 2nd, which was a national holiday for Macedonia and for Bulgaria, and for the first time this year in May, both Prime Minister Zaev and Prime Minister Borisov were to celebrate the birth of St. Cyril and Methodius, and they went in Vatican where they met with the Pope all together, so celebrating events that brings people together. And I think that we got in Bulgarian government and in Bulgarian people friends and supporters that will help us with their experience they had toward EU to help as well as we can overcome some of the mistakes or some of the obstacles they had in this process.
Ma direi quindi che concludiamo qua il nostro incontro. Io vorrei ringraziare solo ancora una volta il Ministro Ademi, ma anche il pubblico, perché ha mosso una serie di quesiti e di rilievi che erano assolutamente puntuali. Peraltro vorrei anche ringraziarlo in realtà per una serie di motivi specifici. Il primo per la chiarezza con cui ci ha dato veramente un quadro d'insieme sulla situazione della Macedonia, e poi anche per alcuni spunti che ci ha dato, perché per esempio l'accenno che ha fatto riguardante il suo partito legato al ruolo delle forze progressiste per tenere assieme comunità diverse, quindi per superare le divisioni, secondo me è una cosa sulla quale merita riflettere anche nei paesi europei, sulla quale comunque sapete che come Dialoghi Europei spesso insomma, abbiamo affrontato anche queste tematiche. E poi ancora per l'accenno che lui ha fatto al suo aver superato più volte il confine fra Italia e Slovenia oggi senza esserne accorto, perché mi consente di farvi un annuncio per una prossima iniziativa e fare un augurio. L'annuncio per dire che prossimo venerdì alle 5:30 saremo a Muggia nell'ambito di un partenariato più ampio, di cui fa parte anche Dialoghi Europei, per parlare dell'Istria ai tempi di Schengen e quindi per capire come il fatto che quel confine non ci sia più incida sullo sviluppo di quel territorio. E quindi l'augurio è ovviamente per quel che riguarda la Macedonia del Nord, la Macedonia, che possa presto trovarsi in una situazione tale da poter riflettere non solo sull'Unione Europea, ma su come magari anche la possibilità di poter passare liberamente dei confini possa contribuire a sviluppare, a consentire lo sviluppo anche di quel territorio. Grazie a tutti e ancora grazie al Ministro Ademi.
Grazie.